Hello, my name is Lucas de Cruz, and my project used AI to detect beech leaf disease at the university school campus. Before developing my project, I did background research on beech leaf disease and image classification models. Beech leaf disease is a very recently identified invasive disease to beech trees, with little known about its origins. This disease affects the majority of the trees in the area where it's present, and is particularly harmful to the environment because the American beech trees that it infects are a vital food source to over 40 wildlife species. This disease can lead to a tree having a higher risk of being infected by other pathogens or pests, and it can also lead to a mortality rate as high as 90% within the first 7 years of infection. While not much is known about the disease, a nematode has been found in infected leaves, but it's likely not the only cause of the disease. These nematodes have been found to cause the leaf stomata, which is the opening in the plant's leaves and stem that takes in CO2 and releases oxygen to deform. It can also damage the mesophyll, where most of photosynthesis happens, and it can also cause yellowing of leaves or chlorosis. It also causes necrosis, which is the browning or blackening of leaves, which indicates the death of cells. Here are three examples of beech leaf disease: one with no beech leaf disease, one with early beech leaf disease, and one with late beech leaf disease. The first image does not have any beech leaf disease, and you can tell that based on its physical characteristics. In the middle has early beech leaf disease, and you can tell this by the dark bands that are parallel to the leaf veins. And the last image has late beech leaf disease, which you can tell from its leathery texture and its deformed shape, as well as the signs of chlorosis and necrosis in the leaf. Image classification CNN models allow an AI to detect patterns in the image, and this I thought would lead to them having a higher accuracy in classifying images of beech leaf disease than a group of untrained humans. They use different layers in order to detect features in the image, and each layer adds a filter to the image to detect features like the color, the shape, and the texture in each image. Then the model finds patterns in the features with other images it was trained on, the same classification, and determines the probability of the image being in each of the categories. I chose to use a CNN model because some studies have been shown to have an accuracy of up to 99.5% while using a similar model in trying to identify infected tomato leaves. My background research led me to the research question: can an artificial intelligence model that is trained on images of beech leaves identify beech leaf disease more accurately than a human? Through my background research, I came to the hypothesis that if a computer vision model is trained on images of various degrees of beech leaf disease, like no beech leaf disease, early beech leaf disease, and late beech leaf disease, then the presence and extent of the disease will be more accurately determined than if an untrained human were to guess. Moving on to my methods and materials. For my methods, I collected over 1,000 images of beech leaves from the university school campus. I took these images myself and then I edited them so they had the same orientation and size. And I also categorized them into no beech leaf disease, early beech leaf disease, and late beech leaf disease based on their physical characteristics. And then I trained the AI model that I talked about earlier on over 900 of these images. And then I tested the AI and the humans on the categorizations of the remaining 100 images. And I did this 5 times each. And then I determined the accuracy by finding the percent of the images that were correctly categorized. And I did this for both the humans and the AI. Then I find the precision by calculating the amount of recurrences per image in the most guessed category. So moving on to my results. For this first graph, you can see the average accuracy per test. In blue is the AI and in red is the human. So from this, you can see that the AI had a higher accuracy than the humans. The AI model also had a higher consistency in its accuracy, with its maximum accuracy being 75%, while its minimum was only 71%. But the humans, on the other hand, had a much wider range of accuracies, with their maximum being 65% and their minimum being only 50%. For this next graph, there's the average precision. So from this, you can see that the AI had a higher precision with an average of 92.2%, while the humans only had a precision of 71.8%. From this, you can see that the AI was much more consistent in its categorizations of each image. So moving on to my interpretation and conclusion. Through my results, I found some anomalies with the AI where it was not perfect and the human classifications were more correct. And some of these anomalies were when the image of the leaf did not have distinct enough or plentiful enough characteristics, like the color of the banding was not dark enough compared to the leaf, and then also when there was a low number of bands, as well as when there were obstructions on top of the leaf, like a stick in front of the subject leaf. So here are some examples of anomalies. As you can see in the first image, in the top left, there is a slight banding, which is visible, but it's not distinct enough for the AI to recognize. But the humans were more accurate in finding this. In the second image, you can see in the bottom left, there's one singular band, and then there's also a leathery texture on the leaf. This led to an anomaly because the AI was not able to recognize the singular band and it wasn't able to categorize it correctly. And for the third image, you can see that there's a small stick over the leaf, and this led to the AI not being able to categorize the image. And I think the cause of all three of these anomalies were because there was not enough images that it was trained on. So when there was something out of the ordinary compared to the rest of the images it was trained on, like a stick or not enough bands or not distinct enough colors, it was not able to correctly categorize it. So for my conclusion, I concluded the AI model that was trained on over 900 images of beech leaves was able to interpret images for beech leaf disease more accurately than a group of humans. And my AI model is also more precise in its labelings of each image. So overall, my hypothesis was supported, although there were some anomalies like I just mentioned. This model could be used by conservationists to catch the disease at its earliest stages in an attempt to limit the spread of this deadly disease. Some changes I could make to my project for further investigation would be expanding the data set in order to remove some of the anomalies like I previously mentioned, then also having more humans tested to have a more accurate average of the accuracy and precision of the group. Overall, my research was a success because I was able to accurately test my research question, and in the end, I proved my hypothesis. My research is important because it can be used by conservationists in order to catch this disease at its earliest stages in an attempt to limit the spread of the deadly disease. Thank you for listening to my project.